What is up, party people? It's your boy Justin Langlois, Sterling Investment Advisors, and we're going to talk about 4 key metrics I use when I'm valuing a piece of real estate. There are a million metrics that you can use. These 4, cap rate, base rent, loan to value, and interest rate. Like, these are the 4 that I look at. And I look at them with buyer's glasses on, and then I'll look at it with my seller's hat on. So to me, you've got to understand the perspective for both parties. So right out the gates, cap rates. All right, it's something that many of us know about. It's basically the NOI divided by a percentage rate that you then come up with a sales price. So a cap rate of 6%. Let's take a $3 million building that you own right now. 2 years ago, you could have sold that thing at a 6 cap. You had $180,000 in NOI, $3 million valuation. Right now, you might be looking at something closer to an 8.5 cap. On that same $180,000 NOI, the price of that $3 million asset is now $2.1 million. Good news is you've not sold it. So yes, in theory, maybe in your brain, you're telling yourself it's not worth as much money today, but it will come back in value. It's just a good exercise to use. It's what people are using now. It's why some sellers are getting insulted with the offers that we receive, but it's a direct correlation to the interest rate or the price they're paying at the pump. So with respect to interest rates, which is the second thing I look at, a deal 2.5, 3 years ago probably could have gotten you an interest rate somewhere around 4%. That same deal today, it might be 7 or 7.5%. So a swing of 300 basis points, 3% in interest rate, like 4% to 7%, could be as high as a 25% increase in your payments. So think about that. There's not much that we do in this world that exceeds a 25% return. So a large chunk of the money you've been getting when you go through a refi is going to get sucked away and magically goes to the bank in the form of interest payments. But again, this is short-term reprieve. This isn't something long-term. So my advice in the loan to value or in the cap rate world and in the interest rate world right now is take your licks, live to fight another day. Base rental, that's the third metric that I look at. So base rental is something we all have, and the changes you make to your lease structure, whether you're going from like a gross lease, maybe it's modified gross to triple net, can greatly impact your base rental. I have a lot of landlords now that are transitioning out of modified gross leases. That's where the tenant pays rent and then the landlord pretty much takes care of everything else, to like a net or a net or even a triple net structure. So they're reducing their base rent because they know that these triple nets are just going to continue to increase over time. I'm very handsy today. I apologize. I'm like the weatherman. So keep that in mind. Any little incremental change that you make to base rent greatly impacts the overall value of the property. And then the last thing that I look at, it's not insurance costs. I know a lot of you are moaning and groaning about insurance. That's very painful, but it's loan to value. So I've got 3 commitment letters in the last 2 weeks. The loan to value requirement on these deals is 60 to 65%. And in years past, loan to value requirements were 70% to 80%. So what that means is an investor will have to whip out more money today to buy that deal. Again, short-term reprieve, take the lick, 18, 24 months from now, refinance that bad boy. So one of the things that I've got in my notes here is that when we're in a rising interest rate environment, it usually means we're also in growth mode. Now, the only asset class where I don't see that happening would be Class A office. I'm in a Class A office building that's about 99% full. That my entire submarket surrounding me is about 99% full, maybe with the exception of one building. So we don't have the pain that people have in these NFL cities. But every other asset class, retail, garden office, industrial, it's all in growth mode. So keep that in mind, keep that in perspective when you're valuing your next deal. I'm sure I missed something. I'm sure I'm wrong. I'm sure some knucklehead's going to make some comment. Peace.